Hello everyone. All right, and today we are going to review this product. This is the JupeDeck football helmet display case, and it should be fitting a full-size helmet. So I'm going to open it up and just look at the contents inside, assemble it, do a review, and yeah, talk about what I think could be done to improve the product. Okay, so I just opened it. First impressions, I like that this is a thin design. There's essentially two designs. One that is the assembly, which is this, and then the other one which comes fully assembled or it comes in one piece. I actually don't like that design as much because it's very bulky. And if the assembly is easy enough, it's really not a problem. Okay, so decent packaging. I could see that, it could get damaged potentially, but so far so good. This is really not enough to protect a wood piece. It could chip. I noticed that it ripped on this side, which is fine, but it does come fully wrapped. Yep, and then here I think this is packaged really well, so that the acrylic panels, they don't move around. So each of these panels, they have this film that protects the acrylic on both sides. It's really not that big of an issue to peel off. It is tedious because there's 5 of them, so I'll have to peel 10 times. All right, so I got all of them peeled. Now, I did cut myself. I was very careful. And these edges, they don't seem sharp when I touch it, but if you just nick it a little bit, you will cut yourself. So that's definitely something to look into and to improve. All right, so I assembled the first corner here. It was not easy actually because they're very thin and it's not easy to stand them up. And so how this works is you take one of these, you put them on the corners, and then you put these connectors through. Each one of these connectors, they don't really hold the acrylic together, but with all of them, then they do. Okay, it is all assembled. One thing that I'm surprised about is how big it is. So yeah, this definitely should fit a full-size helmet. I could pick this up, and it's not too flimsy. Of course, they are just held by these connectors, and they do a decent job. Yeah, so some things I would improve on is definitely the thickness of the base. It's just, it could be better. I would probably do at least an inch, maybe 1.5 inches. Originally, I thought about doing 2 inches, but I think that might be way too much. So if you can see here, this is less than 1 inch. And 2 inches would be almost 3 times as much. I think that's unnecessary. I think 1.5 inches might be okay, and that might look good. Yeah, definitely I would improve on making the edges sanded so they don't cut anyone. And crazy is that I read all the reviews and they said that this was sharp, and so I was already especially careful, and I still cut myself. So I imagine that anyone who is just putting this together is likely to cut themselves, and that would just lead to bad experience. Well, in my next video, I'm gonna check on the UV protection, which is, I think, the most important. Now, just a spoiler, I did do a quick check and there is essentially no UV protection on this. Okay, so what I have here is a UV detection card. So we were going to focus on the bottom here because this focuses on the UV ray spectrum, I would say. And so I also have the UV flashlight here. So it says here, place this card in direct sunlight for 15 seconds, or in this case, I'm going to use the UV flashlight. And then the words ultraviolet, you could barely see it here, but it is imprinted. There you go. And it's going to show up with the color on the bottom. So the first test is I'm going to put the flashlight directly on top. So this is essentially, there's no UV protection, right? So I'm going to do this for 15 seconds. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So as you can see, the color here is pretty much either very high or extreme. And so the next test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this card inside the case, maybe on the bottom there, and then have the flashlight come on top. And do that for 15 seconds, and we're gonna see how much UV is actually coming through the acrylic. Okay, so I have the card in there. You can see it's reset it. And then now I'm gonna put the flashlight on top and I'm gonna shine on it for 15 seconds. So you can see it's right on top. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's about 15 seconds. I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to see the reading. So that looks essentially the same as if there were no UV protection. Okay, so I just took it out. So you can see that it's starting to fade a little bit, but it was at very high. And so there might be 10 to 20% UV protection, but that's really not enough. It needs to be in the 90s, if not high 90s, 95, 96 and higher, so that whatever is in this case does not get yellow. Signatures, they could fade over time and rather quickly too. Yeah, so that's the review. Again, the things that I would do different to improve the product is to make the wood base thicker. I would maybe round the corners here so that it doesn't chip. So you can see even now it's starting to. I would sand these edges because they're really sharp. And yeah, the most important thing is to make this to have UV protection on this. So we're actually doing that. We're designing this product. If you want to follow the progress, check the link below. And I'll see you in the next video.